people stepping into this project for the first time, it is quite emotional because it is sad, but as one of the traveller ladies said during the week, because it's sad, that's not a reason for not doing it, which I thought was very powerful. So if you're all comfortable with it, and only if you are comfortable, I would just like to invite everybody just to maybe articulate it very briefly, just your immediate feelings after leaving a few in the room.
I think someone mentioned like about statistics and that, and like suicide, it's such a big topic, you know, at the moment, especially over the last 10 years or so. So much so that you kind of zone out when you hear about it on the radio anymore. Like it's kind of become normalised, it's so kind of omnipresent. But seeing individual stories like that is just like massively like powerful, and like every single person's story there was like just it could be your brother or your sister.
Those families must have had to have been incredibly reflective on their children's lives or their loved ones' lives to be able to pinpoint articles that they thought would represent them, to try and highlight who that individual was in so few items.
The one lad had like Manchester United programmes, and he has like the little Ryanair ticket that like they ripped off and gave back to him when he was flying. But like I actually do that every time I go over to Man United to see them, like, and I always keep them. So like seeing something like that is just like huge, because I can kind of see myself there, like in that.
You don't really understand it until you actually see it, and you get to like to feel the dress that's hung up, and just seeing the photos of her wearing the dress and the video of the mother seeing it.
The room inside, we have all the objects, the stories, the letters. That's would normally in an artist's practice be your research material, and you would make representative work from that. And I think it's really interesting that has become the work, because it makes it so much more engaging. And I suppose from an artistic point of view, it makes me question, sometimes you need to look at maybe what is your research material is actually the work itself. And it just gives a tangibility to the lives that have passed as well.
I felt it was very visceral and emotive, kind of an intimate whistle-stop tour of someone's life, very relatable too. I mean, that could be my hurley or my medal or anything like that, you know. And the fact that the garment's eyes were all at the level that they would have been, it kind of felt from a medical perspective that they were almost looking at us and imploring us to do something more.
It was kind of alarming that they were all looked so happy in their photos, but like how are you meant to know that? Like, I know we risk assessing stuff in class, but they're all like people who've already come to our attention, people who've already like attempted or asked for help in some way, but people just that you know, like how are you meant to know if they're all smiling in all their photos?
It makes you feel kind of like sort of helpless in the kind of healthcare community, because I mean, how many of them I feel hard, I can't see how they can connect with services, and even it just makes me feel kind of helpless.
Having lost a friend to suicide, I kind of just found myself imagining what would be in the room for him, and picturing where he'd be on the wall for he was 17. So just brought a lot of memories back.
I found it a bit overwhelming, really. I had to leave and then come back.
Yeah, because it's always going to be sad.
Look, my first trauma was the first engagement, and you can never quite get to that first moment of trauma again. Because it's so direct, there's no escape. And if there's no escape, you really do have to deal with those visceralities. When you're dealing with materialities, whether it's the flesh, the body, the cut, the wound, there is a very particular relationship to body.
If you can collectively harness everything that you shared here, you know, your doctors of tomorrow. And if you can remember this experience, and when you meet a family member, or you're encountering it, Janice described that first trauma, and I think it's so true. You know, because you are going to be going into emergency departments, you're going to be in general practice you'll be called out to Godspeed for some awful event, and you're going to be grappling and wondering, how am I going to cope with this? How do I navigate it? How do I feel with it? I think if you can feel what you felt today and keep that in your visceral memory, 6.6 times the pain that is in that Lost Portrait Gallery, 6.6 times the grief that is in the archive rooms, and they will not speak about it. This is an incredible giant leap for them.
We've come in here this week, and since we started, we've been met without judgment. They never judged us once, but yet we continue to judge them.